G. Thorne will be here to review the day after 11 o'clock tonight, but delighted to say some live music in the form of Kenny Ball Jr. and his Jazzmen. There are lots of them, but there's only one Kenny Ball Jr. and he's here with 7 others. Welcome to the show, all of you. There's lots of you. Play whatever you've got in your hand, just very briefly.
Go on, follow the van.
Beautiful, beautiful. I wish I could have done that. Welcome.
Welcome. Hello, Simon. How are you?
Very, very well. How are you?
Thank you very much for having us all here.
We saw you a couple of hours ago. You disappeared to a local library, I think it was.
It was a library. It's just catching up on the galaxy.
Indeed.
With Pluto.
And you're back with us. This is a remarkable story of certainly of a family who many people in the world of jazz will adore. Just tell us about your remarkable upbringing.
It's been absolutely marvellous. Of course, my dad was Kenny Ball with the Jazzmen, and it's been fantastic ride. You know, it's going everywhere, following him and seeing him perform. You know, all over Europe. Actually, the only time I ever went was when he went to Australia, New Zealand, America. But all over Europe, I followed him from a young child, really, about 11 years of age. Almost.
Do you remember thinking, "That's for me. This is what I want to do"?
Yeah, it did. It's kind of, how can I say it? The buzz, people get a buzz going on to have a drink and all this bit, but my buzz was going, I had to do that. My buzz, I wanted to get on there all the time. So I was brought up playing the drums, and I won't go on too much about it because the boys laugh their heads off. I thought I was a good drummer. And carried on learning the piano and playing the trumpet, but I got into the old reggae and rock and, you know, a bit of soul on the drums. So I moved away from the jazz scene. But I moved straight back into it. On his passing, he left me a note saying how to keep the band going. And
what is the secret?
Hard work.
Yeah.
But they're all my family. They all act like a family. We are one big happy family. I hope we're a happy family. But how can I say? It's like we all work together. Even though my name might be at the front of carrying on the ball name in the jazz world, we'll talk to each other, we decide what we want to do, because we just want to put on the best show as much as possible, you know, and leave people dancing and enjoying the show.
Now, Kenny died in March last year. Huge loss to the jazz family, but an incredible loss to you personally, of course.
Oh, tragic, actually, because up to about a year before he passed away. It was about a year before he passed away, wasn't it, Sid? He asked me, he says, can you give up what you do? And he said, come on the road with me. He says, and you can be my nurse and look after me. Well, he was on the downfall with a lung problem, which he...
and he was early 80s by then.
82?
Yeah.
No, he's 80, 80, no, he was 81 then.
Yeah,
Yeah, 81, and his breathing got worse and worse, so we took on another trumpet player to perform all the high notes, as Dad always said, and Dad had many hits singing as well, so he'd do the singing, and we funny enough, me and Sid always used to say, don't do the two together because you're out of breath. Either do the solos or the singing, don't do them both together. It was hard work. He'd go on to do it. But he carried on like a good old trooper like he was. And he just loved performing. Absolutely loved performing. His last gig with us playing was in Commits in late January. And he was really, really ill at the time. But as soon as he went on stage, he was dancing about and like he's an absolutely remarkable man.
Must be a very moving memory to recall.
I've got a lovely memory, a lovely CD of the last show, watching him dance about and everything. And of course, the lung problem took over and he caught pneumonia, while he's in hospital. And of course, he sadly passed away March the 7th last year.
Well, he will be remembered, of course. And the music that you continue with in his spirit is obviously a very positive and a very happy way of remembering. Well, can I ask you about your own band? Because there's 8 of you you've got to look after. Yeah. You're presumably doing gigs up and down the country. So in this city, when can we see you next live? Well,
we hope to do the Hippodrome later in the year. Our local gig, our nearest gig to London, would be the Palace Theatre in Southend on the 22nd of August.
London by sea, we were right.
Yeah, London by sea, which is lovely because it's like Essex, of course. And it's my hometown of Essex, and which is lovely. You know what I mean? So
one of your band members is putting the thumb down. No, the other way at the back. Well, you're doing a slightly different sign back, which is very good. Can I also
over there.
in terms of live music CDs, how do we listen to your stuff when you're not on the radio?
You can go on the YouTube. If you put into the Kenny Ball Jr. and the Jazzmen, you can see us live gigs in Poland and Germany, which we performed, which are on YouTube. Or you can go on our Kenny Ball Jr. and the Jazzmen website. I've got that right. I think I've got that right. And if you want to look on there, there's actually us live and our songs that we're doing and on the shows. And they can also look for the dates all around the country.
So it's all there.
All there.
You're going to do us 2 tracks tonight, 2 live tracks tonight, which I'm very much looking forward to hearing. And I know the band are getting itchy feet and hands waiting to get going. What is the first?
The first
track.
The first track is called Samantha, which was my dad's first hit, number 1, Samantha. And
so when would that have been?
1961.
61, gosh, very
61,
early. 61,
yeah, it's the first hit. Everybody always used to think it was Midnight in Moscow, but it wasn't. It was Samantha. So we'd like to perform that for you, Simon.
Love it. And before you do, was there a Samantha?
No. I never know.
Oh, come on, make it up.
There probably was. Somewhere.
Take it away, live on BBC London 94.9. This is Kenny Ball Jr. and his Jazzmen.
And my love ain't never gonna die. I remember, oh, my Samantha. Well, I'm a one-girl guy. And together, oh, my Samantha, we could ride a star, ride it high. I remember, oh, my Samantha. Well, I'm a one-girl guy. Oh, and in some distant day, you might come to me and say, get away, go away, goodbye. Oh, remember my Samantha. Well, I'm a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 girl guy. Get away, go away, goodbye. Oh, remember my Samantha. Well, I'm a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 girl guy. Better believe it.
Wow. That's amazing, huh?
Was that? Are you happy with that one?
I'm very happy with that.
Thank you very much.
What a great job that you have.
It's a wonderful job. And there's nothing better than playing in front of the hundreds of people that come to our theatres and see. It's funny enough because I still ask, do they remember it and did they? But some of them in the audience still say that's they met their husband or they met their wives on certain songs, which is wonderful. It's really nice.
Was there a true golden age of jazz? Do you think?
Going on.
It's still going on.
It's still going on. It's a shame because, bless his heart, we miss him terribly and wish he didn't retire. But we miss Acker. Acker, of course, early in the year retired, announced his retirement. And he was an absolute brilliant character. I've got so many fond memories. And he was my father's best friend in the music business. And they were very funny together.
So you must have known him pretty well.
Acker I did, yeah. Acker I did. And
what was he like when he was off stage? When he was
Acker was just an absolute gentleman. He's funny. He's a very funny man with a very dry sense of humour. And of course, I've got here Ian Bateman, who's playing trombone, who played with Acker for how many years?
12 years.
12 years. So, and he'll tell you some wonderful things about Acker because he was a very funny man. He did not like people overtaking him. He did not, and if there was a traffic jam, he did not like that as well. And we've got so many funny memories of touring with him. I've never experienced it. I'm laughing in my head now. But Dad and him were very close friends. They used to sit at the front of the coach together, or the bus, and then whatever they were in, and they used to sit together. And some of the funny old stories, like Dad would come out with, and Acker would come out with, and the fun they had in Australia and things like that.
Remarkable memories.
Oh,
I know you wanted to do a tribute and a hello to somebody who couldn't be here tonight.
Oh, yes, if possible, Simon. It's to our very dear friend, and he is one of our family, and I think all the boys are totally agree with me. We'd like to send I wish you well, and we do miss you, and we love you loads, to John Bennett, who is the trombonist in the band for 57 years with my father.
Gosh.
And he's unwell at the moment, and we just wish him well, and we miss him very much, don't we, guys?
Yeah.
Good. All right, well said. Is it true that they're making a documentary about you?
Yes, we've got a fly-on-the-wall documentary going about it. It's in discussions with certain, I won't say.
You can say Sky Arts if you wish.
Sky Arts, or hopefully we'd like the BBC.
Well,
if possible,
me too.
Be involved.
Yeah.
But it's a fly-on-the-wall documentary about us, following us around, from the dressing room to the coach to the plane to us performing, and it's a great story. And also, it's great tales from all the guys about jazz, not just the band, but also about the history of jazz and how it carried on, and of course how the band was the reception they got in America in the 60s, and was unbelievable, to performing with the great Louis Armstrong.
Amazing. And presumably your memories of some of the great names of jazz that you would have had a chance to meet or possibly get to know, as well as people like Acker Bilt, but the connections that your father...
Louis Armstrong coming round the house in West Road Gardens in Seven Kings in Ilford. You know, suddenly doing a show, and then suddenly he don't realise I was only 5 or 6 years of age. But I mean, even now, you know, when Dad used to be in the car with me, I mean, the stories used to come out. I mean, there was one gig, Sammy Davis came round the house when he was in the 70s, round our house in Hornchurch, and things like that. And you don't realise it now.
All the stars end up in Essex, we know that. That's where they all make a beeline.
I don't think Sid would agree with that.
Listen, I know you're going to do one more, but if we want to find out where we can see you next and where we can get some of your music, just give us details of your website again.
Sid, could you it's Kenny Ball Jr. and the Jazzmen.
Just kennyball.co.uk.
.co.uk.
So it's just kennyball.co.uk.
Yeah.
Kennyball.co.uk.
Yes.
Right.
Just put Kenny Ball in.
And there's a lovely stories and blogs about the guys in the band, but it's great, absolutely superb. And also, we'd like to thank our management, Steve Hughes, who really, really worked so hard for us. We really appreciate it.
Well, we really appreciate your coming in tonight. Can I ask you one thing before you do your second and final number tonight? When you sing, and when all the band are playing around you,
yes.
I'm obviously trying to balance this here, and I can hardly do that. How on earth are they following you? How are they knowing where you're... How can they... Because the sound...
He's following us. There
you go. There we go. There's the answer.
Actually, that's Nick Millward, the drummer, actually. He used to be the youngest in the band, but he's not no more.
No, not no more.
He's no more. But,
same age as you, mate.
But when I'm on stage, everybody gets their what to do, you know?
Yeah.
And Hugh Ledigo, of course, is on the piano. He's 30... How long? 32? 30-odd years he's been with the band. He's the musical arranger and does everything, sorts out everything. Nick's the counting man and knows everything about counting. The annoyance. And of course, we've got... can I just introduce him? I've got Alan Bateman on trumpet, who's fantastic. I've got Jules Stringle. Julian Stringle, I call him Jules. Julian Stringle on clarinet. Got Ian Bateman on trombone, and of course Bill Coleman, the great Bill Coleman, on double bass and bass. But I like to just say, the Bateman brothers are just superb. They've got their own band and they're keeping jazz alive as well, which is an absolute makes us all very happy as
Fantastic.
well.
Well, you're keeping the show alive tonight.
Thank you very
What
much.
is the second and final song you're going to do?
We're going to do Midnight in Moscow, which was...
I've heard of this, George.
It was a number 2 in America. Everybody
Yeah.
thinks it was number 1 in America, but it was number 1 all the way around the world, and but number 2 in America.
Who kept it off number 2 in America? Do you remember?
I think it was Elvis.
Oh, well, there you go.
It was,
Yeah.
Elvis, and yeah. So Dad went. I think it was a hit in the country chart as well out there. So yeah, it's
You can keep the Beatles off the number 1 spot
yeah
in England.
in England kept the Beatles off, didn't they?
Yeah.
Well, there you go. You give some, you lose some.
And it's still selling now.
Take it away. Live on BBC London 94.9. Kenny Ball Jr. and his Jazzmen.
2, 1, 2.
Fantastic. Kenny Ball Jr. and his Jazzmen live on BBC London 94.9. Thank you so much, all of you, for coming. What a remarkable 20 minutes of my life, and I hope for the listeners as well. And we look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you very much for having us, Simon. Hope to come and see you again.
Our pleasure.
BBC London 94.9.
Tell us your thoughts on this story, please.